What's up, you guys? Today is April 11th, 2022, and I wanted to just do something that kind of helps give a little bit of perspective and a little bit of hope, a little bit of confidence, and just understanding about just crypto in general. I know things can seem a little challenging and tough when prices are going down or sideways, and people are just like, hey, I just keep putting money in, but it just keeps going down. Well, I want to do a little bit of talking in regards to understanding the history and just understanding a lot of the mechanics of how crypto works. And so, if y'all want to go on this journey with me, let's strap in. We'll probably try to make this one maybe anywhere in between 20 and 30 minutes, but I really think it'll be helpful to give context on how this works and help you keep the faith and just understand where we are going. Because there's been so many times where people are like, oh, crypto is dead. No point in buying it. And then they feel so disappointed when everything just rockets back up. And they ended up selling because they didn't have conviction or confidence in, or they didn't understand. And so I want to bring clarity, understanding, and hopefully this helps you guys continue to DCA even when prices are going lower, because that's how you make it in crypto and reach the life-changing wealth. And so we're going to talk about the ebbs and flows, about how people put money and take money out of crypto, but the people that win are the people that hold and give time to pass, and you can reap the rewards when you get it right. And so this is Ethereum here. And I know I got a lot of numbers and letters here, and I'll go through and explain it. I may just delete all of this stuff and just start fresh. But basically, this is Ethereum. And so back in 2016, you would have been able to buy Ethereum for about 47 cents at its lowest. Actually, this is early 2016, so October. And as you see, through time, it has these waves up and down, up and down. But by mid 16, it was 21 bucks. And so that's about a 40x on your money. But then it goes through this time period of where it just goes down for a good portion. So if you look at the time, that's June 2016 to January 2017. So if we count the months, that's about 7 months of just downwards action. But right on the other side of that, you go from $7 to $412. Big difference between the two. And then you go down, then you go up, you get up to 1,200 bucks. But then from there, it's kind of like, oh, what the heck is going on? And then things just die out. And so this is at the top of 2018, beginning of the year. And through time, even at the bottom of 2019, a full year, you're just way down. Then you go sideways for some time. And then you get up to where we are. Earlier in May, we got up to 4,000. So we were at, what was this, 1,500, give or take, 2018, 19, 20, 21. 3 years later, at 4,000, right? And today we're sitting right here at about 3,000. But the reoccurring theme here is just understanding through time, we keep creating higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Now these peaks can get over exaggerated, and these are great times to take profit. But if you were never in the game here at these lows, or you sold at these lows here, then you kind of screwed yourself over because you don't get these incredible gains. So same thing, off of this low, you would have not gotten this incredible gain of 5,675%, which is 56x on your money. You would not have been a part of that if you just didn't understand or you sold. Same thing here, because we're all about paying attention to lows, right? So here and here, if you weren't paying attention or you didn't have the conviction to buy because you're just scared and not understanding, you would have not been able to get that 32x, right? You wouldn't have been a part of it. Now, mind you, a lot of us did not know about crypto back then, but I started my journey here. 2020, And so I was a part of a good portion of this. And so as I look back and understand history, and this is Ethereum in this case, we just see that there's these ebbs and flows, but we just continue to trend higher. Why? Because the adoption is it's going to happen. It's been happening for Ethereum since 2016. It's been happening for Bitcoin since literally 2010. 12 years of just good data that we can go back and look at. But yeah, sometimes that waiting period is longer, right? Sometimes it may take a year, 2 years. But then on the other side of it, you get these gains, right? And so the biggest thing is to just have perspective, because I always tell people, what could you put your money into and steward it and have it even do a double within 2 years? Now, you can maybe go flip a house, but that takes a lot of effort, and a lot of people don't have the time to do that. You could maybe get just one random stock and maybe get lucky, right? But generally through time, that doesn't happen. You might get maybe 10, 15% a year off stocks, right? But we're not talking just 2x and 3x. We're talking 50x and 30x. And on the worst case scenario, through a span of 2 years, we're talking 2, 3x. Worst case. But average, if we want to average that out, that's 15x plus. And that's if you had to wait 2 years. So would you be willing to wait 2 years? Because that's what life-changing wealth looks like. Being able to take, let's say, $1,000 and turn it into $15,000 over 2 years. Or maybe you're a person that has $10,000 and you turn that into $150,000. I know that's enough for a down payment for a house. I know that's what a lot of people are on the path towards, being able to buy their first house maybe, or being able to pay off some student loans, or being able to give it away to somebody they care about. There's all different uses for money and capital, but this is why crypto is so powerful. And until you understand these ebbs and flows and how this stuff happens, yeah, it's going to be very easy for you to just not want to buy when things are lower, because it is a little bit fearful and frightening, you know? And then so if I am to kind of do a little bit more of explaining, as you guys all know that I do a lot of tracking. And then so there are things called Elliott Waves. And so we're going to dive deep into Elliott Wave principles, because you can do this for any market, any asset, but in crypto, this is kind of what helps me understand where we are at and where we are going. So if we want to pay attention to these green numbers with the circle, they're the 5-wave counts. So you know how we can do it on the micro scale, on the small short term? This is on the larger scale. So it's going to give us a lot of good clarity on how things go. So from the bottom, you have your 1, your 2, up to your 3. You know, 3 is always the most parabolic. Down to your 4, and to your 5 up top. When you get to a clean 5, you experience a bear market low. Then you start over again to your 1, 2, 3 is the most parabolic, down to the 4, and then from here, what is after 4, 5. I can do this for every coin. I can do it for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a great track record with keeping this count, but same thing, even Ethereum. So after 4 is 5. So similar from this 3 to 4. Now, mind you, this happened quicker through time, right? It was quicker, but nonetheless, 5 came. And the reason why it was quicker, and you notice, so if you notice, when it goes up, it's just almost like a straight line. Well, that's because the market cap was smaller. So anytime the market cap, there's not as much money or liquidity in these coins, you experience gains much faster. And that's why you've seen 50x's over here, but maybe 30x's over here. Is because the more money that comes into something, the less gains that you get. And so that's a principle called, basically, it's like an S curve. And so it's called diminishing returns. As something grows in size, your returns aren't going to be as high, but still 10x, 15x is still extremely high compared to other assets. And so as you can see, now instead of being straight vertical, now when we go up, it's kind of, more at an angle, right? But the biggest thing is pay attention, we're making higher lows. So like I said, we have the 5-wave count up, and then we have a bear market. And then so this is a very scary part, because if you're buying at these tops, right? Yeah, you may experience losing, 9 up to 94%. That's what happened for Ethereum previously but that's at a cycle top. So we are not at a cycle top, guys. Where we are today is at this 4 here, right? And so we have a little bit of stretch to go before we potentially hit a bear market. But this little bit of stretch is such an amazing opportunity, because if we look last time, and this is in 2017, we just take these lows and, like, mind you, like the average, right? So we're averaging lows. But let's say we just get the average here. There was still a 4x for Ethereum at that point. 4x is great. And that was maybe over a span of 6 to 8 months. But even if it took a year, is a 4x good? And within a year's time, I'd say so. And so we're finding that 4, right? And so anytime you have 3 to 4, it's an A, B, C correction. And so where we are at, we're just finding that 4 before we go up to 5. So that's why we're DCAing these lower parts here, capturing all this good stuff, and we're staying away from the top, right? Now, I know a lot of us might have started our journey somewhere up here in this middle, late 2021, or maybe, it was here in September or August. There was a low here in September as well you could have caught. And so, but mind you, as you can see, through time, we're just creating higher lows. And so, same thing, we can just bring this line all the way across. And you can see, right? Higher lows, it's bouncing off the line. And there's some points where we get overly, like, when I say overly, really overheated. So these are areas where you want to be like selling up here at these tops. So you got to re-engineer your thinking, because this is when most people want to get in late, when everybody's talking about it, it's on the news finally and all this kind of stuff, because that's exactly what happened during this time. But what happens was the smart money was buying down here and down here. And even if you would have bought this top over here, through time, you still create higher highs. And so we are here to be the smart money. And I know sometimes it's scary buying these lows, because maybe you would have bought right here at this top and then it just dipped and you're just like, what the heck is happening? I'm losing money. No, you're not. The dollar amount may fluctuate, but remember that we are here to try to accumulate as many coins, because these coins are what can hold the value. But then when things trend back up, the coins are what appreciates in dollar terms, right? So same thing is just understanding the psychological strength that you kind of need for when things maybe are not going up. But these are where you take advantage of buying the lows. And then so if you guys pay attention, right, we talked about the larger green numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bear market, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now let's talk about these blue numbers. And then so Roman numerals. These are the sub-wave counts in between the larger wave counts. So this is what we kind of pay attention to as well. And so you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you get to your 1. Same thing, A, B, C correction. Then you get to your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you get to your 3. And then even within here, there's a small ABC correction. Same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when you go to a bear market, right? Because, so mind you, we're at the 5 of 5. So the 5 is about, okay, tip top of this cycle. From the bear market is where we make our, so when we get to the top of the market, that's when we offload majority of our crypto. Not until then though. We wait, because right now we're here. We wait, we keep accumulating, and then we get this run up, And then we go ahead and offload majority of our crypto. And then we hit a bear market. So let's see from the top, how long did that bear market take for it to get to its bottom? Almost a year. And so basically you stay away from crypto for all this time because we're going to keep dipping. Now, it may not be this severe or as long, right? Though those things we don't know. We can just go off the data. Now, generally, Bitcoin has these bear markets that are in between, 8 months and a year and some change. But then we get to this bottom. And so when you're able to understand and identify bottoms, if you would have bought at this moment here, or even here, you experience crypto in a whole different way, because honestly, from there, it's just up, right? But understanding where you're at. So that's the bear market bottom. And then we haven't started the wave 1 until here. So it goes to wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4, and 5. But even within these subwave counts, right? So you get to the bear market here, bottom, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing. A, B, C correction. Then you go to the wave 3. Now the wave 3 is always the most exponential. And that's what crypto looked like for 2020. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then once again, A, B, C. Now through time, these ABC corrections are going to take longer. Why? Because there's more money in the market cap. So that's a big thing to understand. It's like, things aren't going to be so bang, bang, bang like in the past. It's because more money being moved around. It just takes a little bit longer. But that's okay, because the same thing is going to keep happening. We're going to get this low 4. And honestly, I think there may be a good chance that we may already have it. And then so through time, we'll continue to just trickle up. We get close to these all-time highs. And then typically when we get close to all-time highs, that's when all the rest of the money comes in and pushes us higher to this point here. And so just for an example, right? I'm not going to say this exactly, but this is what we're looking at. We're here about $3,000. And, we have an opportunity to still get another 4 to 5x on Ethereum. So if Ethereum is doing that, that means Solana is doing 6x, 7x, 10x. That means, VeChain is going to do numbers. That means Phantom, especially, very undervalued, is going to do numbers. VRA, Gala, all these coins that we've been talking about, guys, they're going to outpace Ethereum on the way up. So that's why we say we want to buy our portfolio basis, at least 30% with Ethereum, because it's the least volatile. But we know Ethereum is going to be here. But we know all these other coins that we're talking about are for sure going to be here till this push to this number 5 here. Right? And then so, yeah, we have opportunity to still get 5x's, 10x's, 15x's on this last push before we go ahead and offload, 90% of our crypto and ride it out to that bear market bottom and then start over. Because when you are able to buy at these bear market bottoms, that's how you experience life-changing wealth, But even if you got somewhere along in the journey halfway, right? So let's say you just were able to buy at this low here at this 2. This is just Ethereum, Buying these lows is what does it, So if you bought at these lows here, and you just waited the time, yeah, it's been 2 years, but you got 26x on your money. And like I said, depending on how much you're putting in, really, it doesn't matter. Even if it's $1, you turn $1 into 26. All you got to do is just understand the cycles and understand how to buy lows. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys here. And so the gist of this whole video is to kind of explain the life of a crypto, the ebbs and flows. And yeah, we have these periods of where things go sideways, to down. So here, long time. 290 days. That's almost, 10 months, right? Even here at this low, not much really happening. Up, then down, then up, then down, right? Similar to what we're experiencing now, right? This portion here. A year and some change, right? So the question is, are you willing to wait a year? 2 years even. But same thing, if you just buy up here, it's okay. understand you have good stuff. We're talking about all good coins here, so it's okay if you buy a little bit higher. But it's so important to lower your cost basis by buying these lows, buying these lows, buying these lows, buying these lows. Is because on the other end of that 458 days, I know it seems like a long time. It's like we're talking about a 26x, a 10x, 5x. And same thing, keep perspective, because even if it was only a 2 or a 3x, there's no other asset that could give you that amount of return in that little bit of time. We're talking about a year and a half, 2 years. That's not very long, guys. And so I just wanted to make this video to give you a little bit of hope, some understanding, and just so you can see the cycles and how they work. So we still have another bit of stretch to go. And that's what we are in this game for, is for the ups. So you got to stick it through the down. So I always say, if you want a 10x or a 20x, you got to be willing to experience a 50%, downtrend, right? So for Ethereum, let's see how far have we come down from its recent top. It's been a little bit, right? It's been some time too. So we've come down, to the lowest part, it was 55%. But where we are today, we're down 35%, guys. This is nothing crazy. It's not 95%. If we want to even track back here, right, early on, take this top. You came down, and this happens all the time, guys, for crypto. It's just learning that it happens all the time, and this getting used to it is the hard part, especially when you're starting. Came down 66%, but then came back from that low, 62x. Okay, well, from there, what happened? Came down, and over span, what was that? Came down another 63%. But then from there, if you're buying these lows, went up. And you got another 8x. Great. And so it's just understanding why the buying the lows are important, but just understanding when we get these 50, 60% drawdowns, they are in the game. This is just people taking profits, because think about it. If you bought down here, which I'm trying to teach everybody how to understand and do, of course, you're going to take profits when we get to this top. It's natural. This is what anything in life is about, is when you have some type of gain, you want to realize that gain. And so just when you go to work, right, you expect your employer to pay you for the work that you put in. So the work here in crypto is learn how to buy lows and waiting. So actually a little bit easier than a job, I would say. And I'm here to just kind of guide you guys through this process. So you guys don't even have to put in all the work. Let me do a lot of it for you. But really, ever since I've understood how this works, I've been trying to sow these seeds into as many people as possible, because I know this is the stuff that can change lives here, But people have to get over their fear in order for it to happen. And so I'm just giving this video as a little vote of confidence. I do want to show you another coin here. Another coin. So as we say, these coins have their life cycles, right? And through time, they grow in larger market cap. But as you can see, when they're early, it's just these incredible just rips up to the upside. So a coin that has a very interesting chart, and I've been telling you guys about for a while now, is Gala. It's a game. So gaming is a new sector in crypto that more adoption is coming towards, because as we all know, people love playing video games, right? So Gala is in the early part of its chart. I kind of have it plotted out. And so this is Gala. And Ethereum's chart looked very similar. Ebbs and flows, up, down, up, down, up. And then that'll be, so if we were to do the same thing, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then so that's going to be its macro 1. Then we come down to a 2, and then it'll have a macro 3, later on in maybe 2023, 2024. But with that being said, if we pay attention on these, if we capture these lows, same thing as Ethereum, right? Look at this. 12,371%. That's 123x if you knew about Gala when it first came out. But that's cool. Say you didn't. And let's say you bought this top at 3 cents. I actually bought this top myself when I first found out about it. right? And I actually bought it here. This is of September when I found out about it, about 3 cents. But let's say you bought this top. Yeah, this happens. It went down 80%. But these dips are incredible buying opportunities. So let's say you bought the dip somewhere here in the middle. Because not too long later, it went up here. So you would have got 11x, anywhere in between 11x, and if you were more vigilant, 11x or 20x. Take your pick, whichever one you want. Then you go sideways, then up. So let's say you bought this top. Okay, well, you held. You still got yourself another 5x. So now let's look at time. How long do these dips happen for? So you buy this top, and then you're just like, oh man, and it's just going down. You get a little tired, a little discouraged. You're like, what the heck is going on? But this happens for 140 days. That's almost half a year. And so, yeah, sometimes it's a tough sled to push, and you get a little wary. Well, this is where the faith comes in, because these coins keep these paths and these cycles, so this is the Elliott Wave principle cycle, and so as you can see, it's just been in this channel, right? So it's staying within these confinements. So that's what it gets me to believe, they're parallel, that hey, we're getting close to that pivot point. And so even if it's now or another month or two, we still have another stretch, right? Hey, I'll be willing to wait another 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, because I know it's on the other side of these long drawdowns are these pumps. It's just because liquidity leaving, then things get undervalued. And that's why we want to buy things undervalued, because then more liquidity comes back when they realize it's undervalued, and then it's just a cascading effect. And the people that sell right here, for some reason, want to buy tops again. So we got to learn to switch our psychological understanding of how things work. We don't buy tops. We just buy lows. So if you've bought a top previously, it's okay. Because sometimes we don't know how things are going to dip down. We don't know how far. So we might start dollar cost averaging somewhere right here, and things keep dipping. But that's why you continue to stick to the strategy, because we still go past these pivot points. So how do you get like these points here, Tyler? Like, how do you get these here? Well, they're pivot points, but same thing. We're using the same tools we've been using. Fib retracement. Take this top to this bottom. And a lot of times we over exceed that. But let's say we just come down to this level, 1.6, and that's just the basis, right? So let's put a little line there. What kind of gain are you looking at, even if we just get there, right? And that's just back to where we were previously. So as you guys can see through time, so this is the beginning of 2021, 2022. This is a year's time. So let's say, like I said, even if you bought somewhere in the middle of this, not even 6 months it took you to experience in 100x, 111x, right, on this coin, if you knew about it and you were paying attention. This is only in the power of crypto, guys. And then so the law of diminishing returns, may not see another 100x, but we could still see a 20x or 10x. But let's say just to this line here, which is very simple to do. Because as you can see, we create higher high, higher high, higher high through time. Boom, that's a 5x. And it's because you're not being scared and you were able to continue to buy these lows, is how you get that 5x. People understand, well, how do you make money in crypto? How does it happen? Or I'm not experiencing making money. What? Because you're not doing the steps, and you're not, maybe just, you're fearful and you sell at the wrong points, or you just, or you're buying only tops. How you make decent money in crypto is learning to buy lows. And so I'm going to just keep saying it over and over and over and over, But this is how it's done, guys. And so, if we go ahead and we do it, this is at the beginning of its lifespan. So just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then so I could just plot those out. So let's go ahead and change that here. Okay. So those are the minuet. So we'll be going to cycle, or I'm sorry, super cycle. Boom. Okay. Well, here, let's actually do this instead. Let's change these. Not from cycle, but we're going to change those to primary. And these stay cycle. So 1, 2. So there's the primary, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get to your 1. Then we come down to a 2. Right? Then the 2 goes up to 3. And these are the ebbs and flows. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I would venture to say through time, now it's not going to always keep this trajectory. It's going to kind of roll over and become flatter through time, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum and coins that are older, right? But it's so important to take advantage of these coins that are still in their most exponential phase. So they're fairly early, but we're in a good spot because it has the track record of doing well already. So it's not brand spanking new, but we're still early enough to still catch these very, very attractive gains. And so there's the 1, 2, take it up to the 3, down to the 4, then 5, through time. And this is like 2026, 2027, But I could see something like this for Gala. And seeing Gala at some point, especially if, their games are launched and stuff like that, which that's how we know, like, we're still so early in this sector, guys, Yeah, we could see, $4,000, $5,000 Gala at some point. Just like how we see $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 Ethereum. Because the funny thing is, their circulating or their total supply is very similar. So that's how we project these numbers, and we just go based upon what we already know. Coins that have similar circulating supply, similar emission schedules. So Gala tracks a lot of what Ethereum did in the early days. And so with that being said, guys, it's like the same thing. We do a fib retracement, and we've seen how, take from top to the bottom, and we've seen how this just to the 3, it just, even doubled the tops of these, this fib retracement. So let's say, we go to this 4.2, right? So take this top to this bottom, and let's just even be conservative here. And as you can see, it still outpaced it even more. But let's just be conservative, right? And say, hey, we'll just pop right here. But what I'm seeing is, hey, we've been in this channel. I mean, these channels are very indicative of where we're going. We've been in this channel. So I would say, hey, we have a good chance of getting here. But let's just say we're conservative and we just go there. What kind of gain are you looking at? You're looking at a nice 13x, right? So this coin has track records of doing that over and over and over and over and over. Here, all of this, and this. 5 times of just exponential gain. Even this short one right here. What does that look like? Hey, that's still a 4x, right? So it's a blended thing, but like the most expansive ones are these major pivot points. So that's why we pay attention to the major pivot points, and we DCA the major pivot points, because we just don't stop, because a lot of times you think you're smart and you just sell everything here. But you got to understand, no, we have a lot to go. When you get to this major pivot point, you just got to ride it out all the way to the top. So from 2 to 3, and then also from 4 to 5. And so that's what we're in the game for. So cool. I'm hoping this video helps, a little perspective for you. I know it's a little bit longer, so if you're here and you stuck through it, you are the people that are going to make it. You make it in crypto by understanding more. And so the people that aren't spending the time to try to learn, fortunately, they're just not going to make it. They may have a negative experience with crypto. But I'm here to just try to be a guide and just to be a helping hand along the way. And so that's why I'm making these videos. So hope everybody just enjoys the rest of their week. It's Monday, so just make it everything that it's supposed to be. Go out there with confidence. have faith in, whatever you're putting your faith in. I'm putting my faith in God every single day. So I'm hoping you guys are just allowing just life to just be an enjoyable experience and enjoying your family and friends and just make an impact here on this earth. And that's what it's all about. So you guys be well. We look forward to talking to you guys pretty soon. Peace.